So today we're gonna learn AWS CLI. So to talk about this AWS CLI, guys, do you remember we have two types of access? Correct? We discussed in IAM section. What are those two types of access we have? Yes, one is console. The other thing is programmatical access. Programmatical access meaning CLI. Correct? Two ways. So how do you log into the console? Using using username and then password, correct? And how do you log in programmatically? How to access CLI using keys? Very good. What keys are those? Access key and secret key. Access key and secret key, correct? So if you create an IAM user, guys, there is an example. See, I have created an IAM user and I have given EC2 permissions for it. Okay, and I given EC2 permissions for it. They tell me for every IAM user, he'll have two types of access. One is console and one is CLI. Agree? So whenever he logged into the console, this IAM user has what access? EC2 access. Whenever he access from CLI, what kind of permission he has? EC2. So do you remember this one, like the IAM user will have the same access on the console and the CLI as well, both are same, correct? Nice. Okay. So now we know this, correct? So now, guys, do you all agree? Do you also know that if you need to work on AWS CLI, you need to install a package or a package, correct? Do you remember I said this? If you want to work on AWS CLI, you need to install AWS CLI, correct? So on Windows, it is bloody simple, like how you are installing any software, general normal software. There is a file called awscli.msi file. Guys, we have different types of executable, right? Installers. One is exe, one is msi, correct? So if you go and put it on internet, awscli.msi file download, you can download that and double click it and install, clicking next and finish it. It's very straightforward installation on Windows. But on Linux, guys, you need to use commands to install AWS CLI, right? Guys, on Windows, if you install also, you need to go to CMD, guys, agree? From here, if I type AWS minus version, so do you see this? I'm already installed AWS CLI, that MSI file, and I click on next, and finish it. So once I install, this is how it will be installed, and you will be running the commands here. Correct? Agree? I need responses. Right? So if you install on Linux machine also, the same thing, you open the terminal there and you will be running the commands. So working on the CLI, both are Windows and Linux, both are same. Yes, it is same. Only the installation is different, but both are same because both are running on the terminals only, right? But on Windows, it's very simple to install. On Linux, you have different way to install AWS CLI. You're getting it till here? Any questions till here? Okay. So now let me tell you the real time here. Let's take, this is the AWS. This is the AWS. Okay. Okay. This is AWS and this is your laptop. So this is your laptop, guys. Okay. Now you tell me this is your laptop. What laptop? Windows only, no? Windows laptop? Yes, sir. Windows laptop. Okay. So in this Windows laptop, if you want to run AWS CLI, if you want to run the commands, you need to install AWS CLI here on your laptop. Correct? Agree? Okay. Okay. Good. So forget about this AWS CLI. Can you tell me how you are accessing AWS from your laptop to here, to, from your laptop to AWS? How you are accessing it? So you are opening the browser. Okay. You're opening the browser and you're opening AWS console. Correct? You're opening AWS console and then here you're giving username and password. This is one way. Hmm? This is one way. You open the browser, you open the AWS console, and you type the username and password. You will be connecting to the AWS. That's what we do. What is the other way? What is the other way? So other way is from the same laptop, you will be connecting to the AWS using AWS CLI. Correct? Programmatically, you can do it. So by installing AWS CLI on your laptop. Guys, what is the CLI meaning? Right? So you open your command prompt. CLI meaning command line interface, correct? Yeah. So you open your command prompt and then your Windows laptop, you open it here and then we need to type something called AWS configure. So if you type AWS configure, it will ask your access keys and secret keys because it has to authenticate, no? If you open AWS console from the browser, it will ask username and password. But if you are trying to access AWS CLI, the first thing what you need to do is AWS configure. That means you need to provide your access keys and secret keys. What are the things that you need to provide? Access key, secret key, and then which region that you want to use it. Guys, in console, we select the region manually, correct? In the CLI, you need to give the region, which region that you want to run the commands. And one more thing is output. So whatever the commands that you're executing, you need to see the output, no? In which format you need to see the output. Hmm? So, uh, so first of all, install AWS CLI. First of all, install it. Guys, I'm I I told you, Andre is here. How do you install AWS CLI on your laptop? Do you see this? I told you this. Some MSI file, you need to download it. You need to download it, this from internet. Uh, hmm, somewhere you can go ahead. See, you just need to find that right side you have, see, Windows, Mac OS, Linux, everything you have. So for Windows, Do you see this MSI file? You open that and install. I have already installed, right? So it will be very fun if you ask me how to install. Open it, open it. Okay. Double click it and run it. Okay. It will asking for next, next, accept, next, next, and install. Okay. I've already installed, so I'm not installing it again. Is that fine? How to install on Windows? Okay. So after installing AWS CLI, what is the command you need to configure, right? So you need to configure. What is the command to configure? AWS configure. After that, what we need to provide? Access key. After that, what we need to provide? Secret key. After that, what we need to provide? Region. What is the region that we should provide? AP minus South minus 1. After region, what we need to provide? Output. Output, there are three types of output. One we call it one table format or JSON format or XML format. Which is the format that you can easily understand? Table. So you go with the table. Everyone understood? This is how you configure. This is how you configure your AWS CLI. City understood? So in your Windows laptop also, you open the command prompt and you need to do AWS configure in order to be ready. Configure. Everyone understood till here? Okay, now I showed you from Windows. Can you go ahead and launch one EC2 instance in AWS in EC2 here and install AWS CLI there also for practice purpose? Yes. So you can install AWS CLI there. And how do you authenticate AWS CLI? Here also you need to do AWS configure. Yes. Once you put AWS configure, you need to upload the keys. That meaning you need to provide the keys. It's a line. So you Linux EC2, you launch it. Okay. But the question here is, do you remember, is it recommended to configure the keys on your EC2 instance? Do you remember we discussed this? Because the keys will be stored locally on your EC2 instance. The keys will be stored locally on the EC2 instance. You know where it will be stored? It will be stored in CD. There is your root directory. There is a hidden folder called .aws. Right? Yes. And there is a file called credentials. If you do just cat credentials, you can easily see the keys there. But is it recommended to configure the keys? No. It's a bad way. Good way or bad way? It's a bad way. So configuring keys on the instance is bad way. What's a good way? Yes. Role. Hannah? So roles are coming into picture now. So now I'm going and launching one more EC2 instance. Same Linux EC2 instance. Okay. So same thing, I'll install AWS CLI. So do you configure the keys here? Nope. So you should not configure the keys. Instead of that, what we need to create? We need to create a IAM role. And for that IAM role, what kind of permissions you should give? It depends upon your requirement. From your EC2 instance, what kind of services that you want to access it? Let's say, for example, EC2 S3. You give the permissions there and then attach this role to this EC2 instance. City understood? So this is the good way. This is the good way. Everyone understood good way and bad way? Okay. So what we're gonna do is, what is the bad way? Bad way is, let's do launch one EC2 instance and install AWS CLI. After that, what we do? Configure keys and execute few sample commands. Correct? This is one of the tasks that we'll be doing it. So good way. Same thing. What we do? We launch an EC2 instance and install AWS CLI. And then instead of configuring keys, attach role and execute few sample commands. Understood? Okay. Is it clear? So should we go and do the bad way? Should we go and let's go and launch one EC2 instance and install AWS CLI? We'll configure the keys and we'll execute some sample few commands. Okay. Okay. Guys, executing on AWS, executing on EC2, executing on Windows machine, both are same? Yes, both are same. Okay, now? So now let's go ahead and then launch an EC2 instance. So I'm just what do you call, looking the new console. Do you see this? Now it is my old favorite console is gone. This really bad. That's why I'm just doing practice. Just launched just now. Okay. Should we go ahead and then launch it in a new console? You don't have any other option. Okay. So, instant state you have separately. Stop, start, reboot. Actions you have also. Depend upon the feedbacks, right, Siraj? So they wanted to change the console. Just I remember from day one of AWS, I still remember how the console is getting. That's the reason why I don't like this new console, because old console we habituated completely since more than 10 years, not 10, even more. Okay, so let's go and launch instance. Okay, so call it as AWS CLI demo. And browse AMIs. Go and select our favorite Red Hat 9 a.m. Edit it. Go with 1A. Select existing, default, and rest doesn't matter. So just go ahead and launch instance. Should we go and launch 2 instances, guys? Okay, let's go with one. Let's wait. And you know what?
Hey, uh, um, so I used to send a material, right? So guys, installations, CLI installation on Linux, there are different ways to install AWS CLI, but I found out the best way to install using pip. Okay, so you need Python also for this. Your CLI runs on Python, right? So this is the common steps, but as that is also getting changed now, so these are all will not work again. So just now I'm just seeing what is the way to install this CLI easiest way. This will not work anymore, but you can try with this with this latest Python 3, but Python 2 is not supported anymore. There are multiple ways to do that. So don't worry. Let's go ahead and okay, it is running. It is still initializing. I'm just interested. The instant state is separate here in actions. Anything new, guys? Anyone worked on connect? We know view details and okay, this is a normal. Okay, manage instant state. What is it? Manage instant state. Okay, here also you can do it. You can change. It is same as instant. This one. Uh, networking. Whoa, connect to RDS is a new thing here. Correct? What is this connect to RDS? This is Chumma. No issues. So you are just bringing that RDS instance here, but we'll learn RDS. We'll learn RDS separately. Okay. Get Windows password. He is putting here. And the rest are all replace root volume now. So I need to go ahead and then see all this. Yeah. Okay. You guys have the previous versions, huh? Okay. So let's go ahead and then log in. And then log into it. Sudo -s. Okay. So guys, see here. I have logged in it and then I went to sudo -s. Okay. Sudo -s. So as these are not working anymore, so let us, I just started looking it. There is a link here where this official AWS guys, by the way, this AWS CLI, there was a version 1 and latestly they released a version 2 also. So we will be doing the latest version. Chite, you're with me? Please say or not. Okay. So do you see this? I went to this. AWS official website, AWS official website here, install or update. So installing latest version of AWS CLI. So in AWS CLI install and update instructions. So which one is our flavor now here? Linux, Mac or Windows? It is Linux we are doing it. For Windows, you need to download this MSA file. Okay, you want this URL? That is a URL. So we don't want Windows. So we open the Linux. Okay. In Linux, install and update requirements. That's fine. So you need to have unzip installed and all these things should be installed. And this AWS CLI version support on your CentOS, Fedora, Ubuntu, Amazon, all these things. Okay. Okay. So install or update. Yeah. Okay. So now, are we using which kind of architecture? Is it 64-bit or ARM? Which one we are using? Yes, we are not using ARM, correct? Where do you see this ARM? When you're launching the EC2 instance, you see, right, that when you are selecting browse AMI, do you see this here? Here we have 64-bit and then ARM. So we always go with this x86 64-bit, right? So go with that. So if you have this, you select that. If you have this Linux x86 64-bit, select that. Do you see this here? Only 3 commands now to install AWS CLI. So now, should we go ahead? Curl command is to just download this. Should we go ahead and execute these commands? Curl command and download our AWS version to zip file. Okay, simple. Right click, paste it, enter. If you do ls, do you see AWS CLI version to zip file got downloaded? Okay, so we need to unzip it, right? If I go unzip, it says unzip not found. So we need to install unzip. No, what is the command to install? Yum install unzip -y. Guys, now it is installed. So should I run this unzip now? Our CL. So I have that. We need to unzip it now. This zip file. So right click and unzip it. Do you see that? I do ls. There is a AWS folder got created, right? And then do you see this sudo .aws and install? So I think inside this, if you go to this AWS, there will be an install here option, right? So you just execute that .ads install. Guys, simply it has installed. Do you see this? And then you can run now. This is the path that AWS has been installed. So if I run this, do you see AWS CLI 2.9 got installed with Python. Everyone understood how to run, how to install AWS CLI? Guys, clear? Very easy. You show your Linux expertise to, so guys, if you want to, AWS now represent this, you can create a, yes, it is installed. You can install, what is that called, guys? What link is that? What link, yeah? Symbolic link, huh? Soft link, right? So you can just have a link, yeah. Yes, to the AWS. Okay. So yeah, soft link. So guys, is this clear till here, everyone? Okay. So now we need to do AWS configure here. So here AWS configure, but AWS will not be found. So you need to use the whole command here. AWS meaning this whole and then configure. And it is asking for access key. So where do you create the access key? From where do you get the access key? IAM. So go to IAM. And then let's create a keys to use it. So go to users. So I already have my, so go inside it. In the security credentials, this everything is changed. All changed? Do you see? Yes or no, guys? Well, that's fine. So, guys, the console will change, but the concepts will not change. Correct? The concepts will not change. Okay. Do you see this here? Access key. So create access key. See, this is also first time I'm seeing it. So you no need to be panicked or you no need to be worried that wow, everything got changed. What to do? Where to do? Huh? So click here. Create access key. Oh, no. Uh-huh. Yeah, we need to select CLI, but I'm just wondering what are all these things because we have never seen this, right? Avoid using long-term credentials like access keys to improve security. Consider the following use cases and alternatives. Okay, so this is the first thing that we should be selecting it now. So local code. Okay, you plan to use this access key to enable application code in local development. Okay, so they are using in IDs. Okay, that's fine. Application running in a compute service like EC2. So should be using roles or Lambda. This is correct. No, ma, why to confuse? See, so these are all the use cases. So generally, before we used to create access key and secret key just like that, correct? So I told you that access key once is lost, it is lost, and you don't have MFA for the MFA also have for access keys and secret keys, correct? So including me in my one of the project. So what a bad thing has happened? You know how not only with me, with so many people has happened like this. So what they do is they use access keys and secret keys in their application, and they have a habit of uploading the code to GitHub. They have a habit of uploading the code to GitHub. These bloody hackers, what they do is they run a simple scan in the internet to find out these access keys and secret keys. As GitHub is public, and most of you might have created a public repositories there, they can easily get your access keys and secret keys. And they will play with it, and you will get a huge bill in your account. This is also happened with me in very starting days. Since then, AWS started improving his security. So that's the reason whenever we are creating the access keys and secret keys, now they have putting a place best practices. You understand? Now why the console is getting changed? So based on our use case, so you are using it on CLI mode, or you are using in your local code, or you're using the application which is deployed on EC2, Guys, you tell me, if you have an application on EC2, will you provide access keys and secret keys in the EC2? Will you configure access keys and secret in EC2? What is another way, alternate way to do it? Just now we have learned good way. What's the good way to use? Role. There is nothing new here. We already learned. See, if you sell this application running on AWS EC2. So do you see this? Assign IAM role to the EC2. That's what we'll be doing. The only thing is they are just putting the use cases. Guys, I know they're copying my lectures here. 100%. 100%, man. All the wordings, all the paragraphs, and all the lines are from me only. No surprise at all. So what are the pain points area that, I used to teach, right? Everything is in. That's good. Nice. That's fine. Yeah. Now you understood? So do you need to bother about this, worry about this now? No, just select it. Okay. You there, Chite? Just select the CLI and then move on. Now you understood what to select? Yes. Next. That's fine. These tags are optional. Create access key. Did oh, hey, Chitty, tell me, see. Guys, this is the first time also I'm seeing with you only, no? See? Do you read it? Guys, whose line is this? Tell me honestly. Whose line is that? This is the first time only. This is the first time only I'm seeing it. Like this, I've been noticing many lines nowadays. That's what every student like this KISS principle. Keep it simple. So the big difficult topics I'll break and I teach you in the simplest way, right? So yeah. Oh my God, man. Same. I still remember I wrote this. If you lose or forget your keys, you cannot retrieve it. Instead also I wrote, instead create a new keys and make the cool diagram. Yeah. That's fine. So let's copy this. Okay. And then, okay, access keys. I'm pasting it here. Enter. And it is asking for secret key. So copy this secret key and enter it. What is the region name? AP minus South minus 1. What is the format that we thought to use? Table. Everyone understood how to configure? Yeah. But that's fine. At least I'm very happy to see. So I'm click on done. Is there any way to retrieve now? And by no, you cannot retrieve. Create it. Okay, that's fine. So everyone understood how to set up your environment, CLI environment, right? So from here now we have access to our environment, right? Now we have access to AWS from here. Keys to access which service? Okay, this is a question. That is the reason why I have put this first line. Siva Rajkumar is asking. So now we have configured the keys, correct? Now I have configured the keys. Now the keys has what permissions? Keys are created from which user? No, see, I have created the keys for my account, Ria, right? Ria has what permissions? Admin permissions. So whatever the permissions you have it for the user, the keys also has the same permission. That's the reason why I wrote that. So if you have the user which you have created has limited permissions, he'll have the limited permissions. Make sense? So now, guys, for you, I made it very easy now. I have wrote here, I have a few sample commands. Guys, AWS CLI commands, you have hell lot of commands. So whatever, remember, whatever you do it from the console, you can do it from the CLI. Everything is possible. Even in fact, even more you can do it. Whatever you cannot do it on the on the console, you can do it on CLI. So each and every component by creating EC2 instance, I mean launching EC2 instance, volume, snapshots, load balancers, whatnot, everything that you do it from the console can do it from the CLI also. But is it possible you go and do execute all the thousands of commands? No. So you should understand you should understand how to the setup environment, and based on the requirement, you need to run the commands. So these are all the few commands that I have taken from EC2 and S3. Right from EC2, I have collected few commands. But if at all you have a command which is not there, which is not discussed with me, which I have not discussed with you, what you need to do, you just need to just Google it. Okay, let's go one by one, and I'll tell you. Okay, guys, see what is the major difference between from the console and CLI. Guys, from this console, you have to select so many things now in order to launch an EC2 instance. Whereas from the CLI, only once, FASAK. That meaning only one command you can run, you can launch the EC2 instance. You know very well what are the things, what are the parameters that you want. So guys, here AWS is common. The first word. The second word represent the service name, and third one represent the command. Rest everything is followed by the parameters. So AWS is common. Is it EC2 or S3 or RDS or whatever it is, and then come followed by the command. So this command is used to launch an EC2 instance. In your certification, they'll ask you the question like this. What is the command to launch an EC2 instance? Run minus instances or launch minus instances or execute minus instances? Which one? It is run minus instances. Understand? This is how they'll ask. They don't ask the whole line. Or they'll give a sample example and then change these things here. Okay. So AWS EC2 run minus instances. Guys, if you want to launch an EC2 instance, you need to have an image. Yes or no? We need to pass the parameters, no? So do you know how to get an image ID? You know how to get an image ID? Yes or no? Okay. So do you see this? Huh? So Red Hat image ID is this. Remember, always go with 64x86. So you can grab the image ID from here. This is a AWS managed, AMI. So if you want to have your own AMI, so go to your My AMIs and then select, you have AMI, that AMI ID, you can copy it. Okay, put that AMI and how many instances? Count one. So now, if you have a doubt, sir, how do I remember these parameters? One second. I'm here. I'm here. He'll be missing me for a minute also. Huh? Okay. So yeah, I was telling. So if you're not sure, sir, what is the command parameters that I need to do? Simply go to Google and then say that launch EC2 instance from CLI. So actually not this, the CLI latest, yeah, run instances. Sorry. So do you see this? How many parameters are there? After run minus instances, these many parameters are there. So no one in the world remember all these parameters. Okay. If someone interviewer asks you, hey, what is that parameter? Can you list down all the parameters? You can do whatever you want to do, you can do. But the thing is, at least remember those common lines like minus image ID, count. So based on your requirement, you just need to put it. Okay, now understood? So put instant. Guys, remember there are few things that you need to mandatorily select it. Correct? When you are launching the EC2 instance. Correct? There are few things that you can just ignore, which will be taken defaults, like volumes. Volumes we can make it default, right? So that's the reason why I haven't put the volumes here while launching running the EC2 instance. See? So I just put image ID, count 1, instance type T2 micro, key name is 9am batch, security group ID. This is my default security group ID, subnet ID. We need to provide the subnet ID, no? Guys, subnet ID here. So should I go and launch my run this command in here? So instead of AWS, we have the complete link that, right? So, and then execute. Should we? So what this will do? All this will do. Yes, it will launch an EC2 instance. Do you see this? This is the table format output that you got it. You can easily visualize it, right? So do you see this? So what is the image ID that you took? 9am batch T2 micro. What is the IP address? Right? Which VPC? Which subnet? Right? Yeah. Terraform plan. It will. So I should not use the word here, Andre. But yes, kind of yes. So all these things, and then just queue. So now, if you go to and see the console, you should be able to see the EC2 instance might have launched. Do you see this here? The second one launched it. See, within a fraction of seconds, once you once you hit enter, it will go and launch. So this is this is a CLI. Can't you develop this and put it in script and run it? That is nothing but scripting, right? Join the multiple commands. The combination, the collection of this CLI commands will form a script. So you just need to put your brain, and then you can write a script having these commands. So scripting is not a rocket science. So it's just like you need to put your logical thinking. Simple. Understood? Okay. So now tell me, what is this doing? Simple, no? If you want to stop the EC2 instance, can you stop without instance ID? No. How do you identify the instance? We're using instance ID. Get the instance ID and then run this. The EC2 instance will be stopped. So what is the command? Stop minus instances. This one, start. This one, Fasak. Terminate. Through command prompt, how do you terminate the EC2 instance? Run that, it will get terminated. So I will not play with all these things. You can play it. So can you tell me what is this doing? Tag. So do we have any tags here? Did we created any tag for this? So I'll just do it for you. See. So what is the instance ID? Copy the instance ID and then replace it here. For this instance ID, so we are creating a tag called name value is CLI demo 9 a.m. Okay. So I'm just going and executing that. Boom. CD. So you can figure out how to provide that soft link there. See, now I go and so it was not there. Now I refresh it. Boom. Do you see this? Yes, you can. Which one? Enable, disable. Sangamitra, how can modify? Which one? Which one? How can modify mean enable, disable? Which one you're talking about? Enable, disable. Yes, you can. That's what I said. No, you can do everything from the CLI. Okay. Using the commands. Guys, can you tell me what is this doing? Yes, it is creating a volume. So if you want to create a volume, what are the parameters that we require? So you create a volume and put a size, how much size it is, in which region it should be, which availability zone, and which volume type GP2. Yes. And this is attaching a volume, this is detaching it, deleting it. And then this one. Yes, creating an image. This is deregistering the image, deleting the snapshot, creating a snapshot. All these things practice, you can do it. So guys, do you remember this URL? I told you if you want to get the metadata of the EC2 instance from CLI, do you remember this URL? Okay, see, I'll get metadata of it. So go to this and then clear. Oh, we are not executing CLI commands. So here, do you see this? So remember, this URL will work from inside the EC2 instance only, not from outside. So 169.254, 169.254 slash latest slash meta minus data. So this is the URL where you can get the metadata of the EC2 instance. What is metadata of the EC2 instance? We have learned this. Metadata meaning data about this EC2 instance, correct? So let's say, for example, I want to get the IP address of this EC2 instance. How do you know? Use this link at the end. Take one parameter. What is it? So local IPv4. Put it. And do you see this IP address? You got it? And let's say, for example, you want to get the public IP, public IPv4. Do you see the public IP here? So just imagine this is a URL. Whenever you're in your application or whenever you're running any script, and if you want to know the IP address or details in metadata of the EC2 instance, can you use this URL and get those details dynamically? Yes. So that's how you use it. Yes, it is the same every time. It is the same every time. Understood, guys? So these are all the few comments on the EC2. As I said, let's say I have not put any load balancer commands here. So because right? So let's say, for example, I haven't given you any command. So how do you do? Let's say, for example, so let's go ahead and write create load balancer CLI. Create minus load minus balancer. Do you see this? AWS CLI. So guys, do you see this here? Create load balancer. There will be an example also in the bottom. Come down. Do you see this, guys? Can't you use this command and then modify accordingly? Yes or no? AWS ELB create load balancer name. What are the listeners, protocol, HTTP or HTTPS, on which port number that your EC2 should listen? Do you remember load balancer protocol and instance protocol? Remember, I told you to put if your application is working on different port numbers, you can use this, no? And then subnets and security groups. Can't you use your own subnet and then your own security group ID? Yes, copy and then enter. A load balancer will be created. So based on the requirement, you just go ahead and then search it. Okay. So I have given few commands also from S3. So AWS S3 MB represent what? Mahesh Babu. No, make bucket. Right? So AWS S3 make bucket, and then you give the bucket name. Guys, I told you URI. Remember? In S3, there is an URL, there is an ARN which is used in the policies, and there is URI which is used here. S3 colon start is the URI here. Okay, now tell me, this one, it is creating a bucket. You want me to create and show you one bucket? So okay, AWS S3 service make bucket S3 colon / 9 AM test demo BKT. In which region we should create? AP minus south minus 1. Enter. Do you see this? Bucket got created. Should I go ahead and then see it in S3? Do you see this? Bucket got created. This is how you create it. So you can play with it. So here, the only thing is, can you tell me what is this doing? Guys, if you don't have S3 colon slashes, that meaning your local file. This is your local file. So MB meaning you are moving. So can you tell me you are moving from where to where? So you are moving from your local to S3. That means it's nothing but you're uploading. You're uploading from your local to S3. So this is uploading. So you are just completely moving local to S3. If you use CP here, you're copying to local to S3. So if you do reverse, S3 first and then this later, from S3 to local, correct? You're moving S3 to local. So you can use all the different commands, but at least if you, I will send you this notepad. I'll send you this notepad. We can do some practices here. Guys, you can also enable static website hosting with only one single command, this command. See, if you run this command, static website hosting will be done. If you want to sync from your local to S3 bucket and S3 bucket to local to have the same data, same files, you can use the word, you can use the sync here. Okay. You want me to attach the thing here? Yes, same for Windows. Let's attach. Okay. Guys, understood? Will you able to do this? So, so guys, see here. I did the bad way, correct? Guys, yes or no? I did the bad way. Good way is even more simpler. Yes or no? Do you know how to create a role with the EC2 and with EC2 and S3 permissions? And do you know how to attach it to the EC2 instance? Simply, you should do that. That is a task. I'll write it for you, the steps also. If so, one is, first step is launch EC2 instance normally. Number two, install AWS CLI, that can be Windows or Linux. And then instead of configuring the AWS configure, create a IAM role and attach EC2 and S3 policies. Okay. I'll give an example. You can attach any policies depend upon what you want to do from EC2 instance. After that, attach that IAM role to the EC2 instance. And then what you do? And then log into the EC2 instance and run the CLI commands. Correct? Correct? You no need to AWS configure it because you are using roles. Okay, Chiti? So I'm putting the task also. What is your task? Your task is do the bad way, do the good way, right? And do it from laptop also. That meaning from Windows. From Windows, you need to open the command prompt. And then guys, from Windows, is it possible to attach roles on your laptop? IAM roles? No. From your laptop, there is no other way. You have to configure AWS, configure the keys. Okay, I'll show you where are the keys are stored. Should I show you? Okay. CD tilde this one. Go here, cat credentials. Do you see this clearly access key and secret keys? So that's the reason why I told you not to configure the keys, but you should know how to configure the keys. Configure it the bad way and then do the good way also, and keep that in mind. Whenever you have a requirement, you should go with the good way all the time. There is question in your real-time experience, which usually most CLI GUI. We really can't say that, but most of the time you go with the GUI only. But most of the developer in scripting, if you want to do some automations, or if you want to mostly on the automation side, you will go for the CLI. Siraj bhai. There is a question. What is the correct, wrong, everything question marks? Huh? Sir, you first created a EC2 instance in console, logged into the EC2 instance via putty. Okay. Logged into that EC2 instance via putty, and then executing commands to run AWS services, like launching another EC2 instance. Correct. Do we need an existing EC2 instance already created to interact with AWS services via CLI? There should be one CLI, no? There should be some modem in order to run your commands, correct? That's the reason why you can use your Windows laptop. If you don't want to go in the AWS, and if you want to run it from outside, there should be some modem, no? There should be some place where you need to run the commands. So you can use the command prompt from outside, right? That this can be a Windows machine, this can be your Mac machine, this can be any machine. But if you want to run these commands, if you want to run the commands from the AWS, then definitely you need to have one EC2 instance, correct? That's a modem. That's a That's a place where you need to run the commands. Shravan Kumar. You understood? So those sample comment can you paste in chat? No, those such a big one. I'll send you that right away. Shravan, you there? Of course. Mac is nothing but your Linux only, no? Via Mac is your terminal is Linux only, no? Yes, you can. Same. This is this one only. You will get it. Darwin OS, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the username EC2 minus user only now. You should use this command, no? Where I need to find out where is that command. Here, this command. Ravan. So go to your PEM file location and run this command ssh -i and then EC2 minus user and log in with this. This is how you log into it. That's what I'm saying. You should have an EC2 instance in order to perform any kind of commands. That can be an EC2, that can be in your application, that can be an SDK, that can be a third-party tool. There should be some place, no, to run the commands. Make sense? Clear? Guys, and do you see this symbol? I just wanted to invoke a lambda. I still need EC2 in the spinner. Yes, obviously. So this is a Cloud Shell. So it is same as your AWS CLI. So if you want to just, you don't want all the EC2 instance to set up, and simply if you just need, if you click it, you will have your AWS CLI set up. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Readily available. So if you don't want to install, and you don't want all these things, but I want you to install, do all the configurations, then only you will understand how to troubleshoot and all. So this is ready kick. So you click on it and you can run all these AWS commands. Okay. Clear, guys? Understood? So you can delete, upload. You can download files, upload files, delete AWS Cloud Server home directory, blah, blah, blah. You have so many things. So will you able to do this now? Can you take any questions? And do the Cloud Shell also. Same thing, but your environment will be on the Cloud Shell. There is a question, sir. Big techs started laying off. How can we overcome? And when recession and when recession end? When recession end, even the Google CEO cannot tell that. But the thing is, yes, there are so many layoffs are happening. So how to overcome it? Simple. You have to be technically sound. Simple. You have to be technically good. If you are technically good, no one will touch you. How do you know? How do you be technically good? If you understand the whole concept in and out, that how we are learning it, and you are good in troubleshooting it, and if you are good in analyzing and a lot of practice, no one will touch you. Why I'm asking every day, are you done with practicals? Are you done with practicals? right? Initially, you guys are asking, sir, where is the practicals? When are the practicals? Now I'm following up you saying that, have you done the practicals? Have you done the practicals? Huh? So guys, practicals are important. So for each and every service, I'm showing you the practicals. You have to be up to date. That's how you overcome it. Hmm? Now, instead of AWS, good opportunities. There is no, guys, I'm telling you, nowhere without AWS, you have DevOps. If you have DevOps, and definitely you need to have AWS. All the DevOps people are learning AWS, and all the AWS people are also, the next stop would be the DevOps for them. Hmm? Yeah. Any other questions? Did you took the screenshot? Any questions, Titi? Could you please take the DevOps classes also? So I'm here to for AWS. Okay, so who knows? Maybe in future, we don't know. But as many, it for sure. If I start DevOps, I think Zoom will not be sufficient. It will blast. So those many hundreds of students will join. But I have the course designed for AWS. So once I design the DevOps, but I feel in the entire in this entire market, in this IT in the learning market, learning industry, people are desperate to learn DevOps, and there is no right trainer to teach the students on how the students need to get. So let's see. I'm not sure, but because of students, I might. But I don't know. Don't have any times. Yeah. What is your role? What is your role, sir? My role is I'm a cloud competency head in the company, and also AWS consultant, director. I've been in multiple things. Thank you, Ali. That is really required. Okay. Super. So I took extra 5 minutes. So any questions meanwhile? So go and terminate. Go and terminate the EC2 instances. Go and delete your buckets. Don't keep it running. There is question here. At least getting into how many days. No, it's okay. No, that's fine. So in my Facebook, you'll get to know, or you'll get to know with the messages. If laptop is Linux, still need to launch EC2 install from console? No need. You can use commands directly from laptop. There are multiple scenarios I have showed you. Yeah, you are the best person to teach anything, whatever it is. Thank you, Shavan bhai. Sir, you work on Infosys. Can you tell me, is bench is compulsory for freshers? If you are completed your training, generally they will push you in the project, right? So bench is not compulsory, because I have been there in Infosys for 10 more than 10 years back, but I don't know what is the scenario now. Okay, super. So guys, please complete your practicals. Please be up to date, right? And Monday I'll take up the new service. Can you give me the final CC, please?